Sheldon. Shelley Berman is an American comedian, actor, writer, teacher, lecturer, philanthropist, and poet. Early life: Berman was born in Chicago, Illinois, the son of Irene and Nathan Berman. He is Jewish. His acting career began with an acting company in Woodstock, Illinois. Leaving Woodstock in 1949, Shelley and his wife Sarah made their way to New York City. Acting jobs, however, were scarce. To make ends meet, Shelley found employment as a social director, cab driver, speech teacher, assistant manager of a drugstore, and a dance instructor at Arthur Murray Dance Studios. Eventually, Berman found work as a sketch writer for the Steve Allen Plymouth Show. Early career: Berman started as a straight actor, receiving his training at the Goodman Theatre in Chicago, honing his acting skills in stock companies in and around Chicago and New York City. In the mid-1950s, he became a member of Chicago's Compass Players, which later evolved into the Second City. While performing improvised sketches with Compass, Berman began developing solo pieces, often employing an imaginary telephone to take the place of an onstage partner. Nightclubs and live performances: in 1957, Berman landed his first job as a comedian at Mr. Kelly's in Chicago, which led to other nightclub bookings, and a recording contract with Verve Records. His comedy albums earned him 3 gold records and he won the first Grammy Award for a non-musical recording. He was the first stand-up comedian to perform at Carnegie Hall. Berman would go on to appear on numerous TV specials and all of the major variety shows of the day. He starred on Broadway in A Family Affair and continued with stage work in The Odd Couple, Damn Yankees, Where's Charlie?, Fiddler on the Roof, 2x2, I'm Not Rappaport, La Cage aux Folles, Prisoner of Second Avenue and Guys and Dolls. Berman's voice was used as the inspiration for the voice of Hanna-Barbera cartoon character Fibber Fox, as done by Daws Butler. Television career: Berman's success as a comedian enabled him to continue with his first love, acting. In 1962, he portrayed the role of Mendel Sorkin in the episode, The Peddler, on CBS's Rawhide. Comedic and dramatic acting roles on television began to come his way, including appearances on episodes of The Twilight Zone, Bewitched, Peter Gunn, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Adam 12, Emergency, Brothers, Night Court, MacGyver, L.A. Law, Friends, Walker, Texas Ranger, The King of Queens, Grey's Anatomy, Boston Legal, Hannah Montana, CSI, NY, and Hawaii Five-0. He also had a recurring role on the short-lived sitcom Walter and Emily. From 2002 to 2009, Berman appeared as Larry David's aged father on Curb Your Enthusiasm, a role for which he received a 2008 Emmy Award nomination. Film career: among Berman's film credits are The Best Man, Divorce American Style, Every Home Should Have One, The Last Producer, Meet the Fockers, The Holiday, and You Don't Mess with the Zorn. Personal life: Berman has been married to Sarah Herman since April 19, 1947. The two met while they were studying acting at Chicago's Goodman Theatre. In the mid-1960s, Berman and wife Sarah adopted 2 children, son Joshua and daughter Rachel. The Bermans were planning Joshua's bar mitzvah when he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Joshua died on October 29, 1977 at the age of 12. Berman has authored 3 books, 2 plays, several TV pilot scripts, and numerous poems. For over 20 years, Berman taught humor writing in the Master of Professional Writing program at the University of Southern California, where he is now a lecturer emeritus. He continues to do film and television work and make personal appearances across the country year-round. Berman and his wife are both enthusiastic supporters of the Motion Picture and Television Fund, a charitable organization that offers assistance and care to those in the motion picture and television industries with limited or no resources, and contribute their time and resources to the benefit of the facilities and the residents. Accusation of plagiarism: in a 2012 podcast interview with Marc Maron, 87-year-old Berman accused comedian Bob Newhart of plagiarizing his improvisational telephone routine style, describing its genesis and saying it was a very special technique that couldn't really be imitated. It could be stolen. And it was. He continued, "I was coming to work at night and a guy stopped his car, passed me by, and said, 'Hey, Shelley. There's a guy who stole your act.'" When asked by Maron if it was done maliciously, Berman replied, "Maliciously? He wouldn't do it maliciously. Nobody does that. But he did it to make a living. And he became a star." Berman later added, "I thought it was a rotten thing to do. I thought the agents who sold him, I thought they were just as guilty as everybody else. But, my God, to go into a town and do my show, and the critics saying that I borrowed some stuff from what?" When asked in interviews about the telephone issue, Bob Newhart noted that, "Shelley Berman did it before I did it. Mike and Elaine did a version of it. There was a thing called a Euro Cohen on the telephone, a Euro which was a very, very early recording by Edison, records of a guy on the phone. As a kid growing up, I remember listening to him and he would call his mother up and say, 'Mama, this is Georgie.'" He paused, skillfully from the money. On his website, comedy writer Mark Rothman discussed the history of comic telephone monologists. As far back as 1920s, George Jessel was doing phone conversations with his mother in vaudeville, with the opening line, "Hello Mama? This is Georgie." In the 30s and 40s there was this radio comedian named Arlene Chatterbox Harris, who did telephone monologues to one of her friends. She was featured doing one of them on an episode of The Dick Van Dyke Show that featured many old radio entertainers. In the 50s, a great comedian, Betty Walker, made about a zillion appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show, doing essentially the same kind of act as Arlene Harris, talking to her friend Seal. Only it was intensively Yiddishified. Whereas Arlene Harris was white bread, Betty Walker was challah. All of this predated Shelley Berman. Even Mike Nichols and Elaine May, who were contemporaries of Berman's at the Second City, engaged in telephone dialogues, with very similar styled material. And who's more brilliant than them? Discography: Inside Shelley Berman, Outside Shelley Berman, The Edge of Shelley Berman, A Personal Appearance, New Sides, The Sex Life of the Primate, Live Again. Recorded at the Improv, To Laughter with Questions, References. External links: Official website, comprehensive Berman interview with Kulf Nesterov, Shelley Berman at the Internet Movie Database, Shelley Berman at the Internet Broadway Database, Shelley Berman at the Internet Off-Broadway Database, Shelley Berman at AllMovie, audio interview on The Sound of Young America, Shelley Berman radio interview WSLR, Shelley Berman interview video at the Archive of American Television.